He's never fought us. Not us united.
My favorite moment in the entire... Maybe I should complicate this before I start speaking here.
Welcome to Comics League. I'm Jared, and today we are talking about a very controversial topic, needless to say. But it's a topic that I feel needs to be addressed again, or at least some people need reminders, because I've been dealing with this for a while. It's the idea that you have very, there's the conception that Zack Snyder fans are toxic. And I'm going to argue that they're not toxic. Let me get the banner back up. And what I mean by that, let me clarify. I acknowledge that there are toxic character accounts and people in the Snyder fandom. But the problem with saying Snyder fans are toxic is that you're casting a blanket statement that 100% does not reflect the overall fan base. Now, to clarify here again, okay, I'm going to give you a reason why those elements got aggressive, let's say, because this whole thing started in the beginning. This whole thing started as the fan base just wanting to like Snyder's movies and just saying, you know what, I'm enjoying them. I like what he does with Superman and such. And then the equally, if not more toxic anti-Snyder crowd shows up and then says, oh, no. You're not a real fan if you like Snyder's movies. You don't read the comics. You don't do this. You don't do this. You don't do this. I got accused of not reading the comics. And I'm like, dude, you could see in them. If you checked out my show, you could see the background, which I have filled with comic books. So you really don't know what you're talking about. This is most people on Twitter. But my point is that, and it's the other part of this that I really, really object to. It's that the other side is painted as this saintly group. What I mean by that is that no one ever talks about how toxic and very mean-spirited the other side is too. Which equally, I got news for you. They are the ones that I've encountered have been some of the most aggressively, obsessively, not nice. Let me say, I'm trying to keep this PG. Groups on Twitter. I'm just gonna say that right there. I'm just saying that right there. Is that let me put this way: the anti-Snyder crowd. If we're going on the opinion that the Snyder crowd is toxic, let's just say we're going with that. The anti-Snyder fans are equally, if not more toxic, if we're going that for the interest of fairness. But really, when you think about it, the problem with that, I've seen people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I hate Snyder fans and stuff, and this and this and this, and Snyder fans should go away or something like that." But Snyder fans should die. I've seen that. They should fall off a cliff and die. And I'm like, okay, but okay. The problem is that there is a logical fallacy in there. The logical fallacy of false composition. Now, what that states is, essentially, you're attributing the actions of a few to the actions of the group as a whole. Meaning, you're saying that just because a few Snyder fans are toxic, that means the entire fan base is toxic. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that is 100% not true. Because let me put it this way. I've had plenty of people on my show that are Snyder fans that have been the nicest people in the world. You just approach them with respect and don't approach them like, you're an a-hole, you suck, I can't believe you like these movies. If you approach them like that, guess what? You're going to get aggression back. Or it's going to shut down. We're not going to want to have a conversation with you. That's my best thing. Whenever I say you're being very aggressive and very disruptive, they'll say, no, I'm just having a conversation. There's a difference between having a conversation insulting my intelligence. I've had that many times. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that, no, the entire fan base is not toxic. And if you're saying, we never said that, by saying Snyder fans are toxic and not making that distinction, You could just say, like, let me put it this way: by saying Snyder fans instead of saying I don't like the like and let me put it this way. Here's what I'm trying to say. There's no distinction in the discourse between the normal Snyder fans that just like Snyder's movies, acknowledge that they have some faults, but also like Snyder's movies and want to see more of them, but also like other DC stuff. My point is that what I'm trying to say is that there's no distinction between the positive Snyder fans and the toxic Snyder fans. And that just makes the whole conversation, it makes it impossible for the fan base to have meaningful conversations about the stuff that we love. And I got news for you. Both sides are guilty of this. I'm not going to paint the Snyder fans as 100% in the right on this. I'm just going to say it's very disingenuous for you to say, oh my gosh, they are all so toxic. I'm sorry, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. In conclusion, what I'm going to leave you with is here's the thing. If you've had one positive experience with a Snyder fan, whether or not be me, Nick, Taladia, Jay Heat, Snyder Queen, Nicotina, Dawson, any of those, then you cannot say that all Snyder fans are toxic, because guess what? They are Snyder fans, and they're not toxic. And now, once again, I'm going to ask anyone that watches this that is anti-Snyder, make the distinction whenever you talk about Snyder fans. Just say, I don't like the Snyder fans that are aggressive and stuff. Don't just say, I hate Snyder fans. Because guess what? I'm a Snyder fan. And I've gone on the show multiple times saying, hey, you can not like his stuff. I do not care. Just be respectful. That's it. That is it. So on that note, stay heroic, and I will see you on this Wednesday for us to talk Batman Spawn. Anyway, stay heroic, everyone. Bye-bye.